Today, we're going to talk about the minimal fields required to create a basic archival description using access to memory or AtoM. Creating an archival description in AtoM can be overwhelming, especially when you're just getting started. Today, we'll look at the minimal fields required for a basic description in AtoM. AtoM only has a handful of mandatory elements. These are title proper, level of description, date or dates, physical description, and scope and content. Here's a slide showing some examples of those mandatory elements. In this case, the title proper is the Charlottetown Gaslight Company font. It is a font level description. The dates are listed there on the slide. The physical description is 0.03 meters of textual records, and I've included the scope and content as well. There's really not that much information that's required to create this basic description. When you're getting started, you can create content directly in AtoM or copy and paste content from another source, like a Word document, a spreadsheet, or another database. Having the content written in advance makes the process a lot easier, especially when you're new to AtoM. Most mandatory elements in AtoM are marked with an asterisk, such as you can see on the screen here with the title proper. The exception is the date element, which does not have the asterisk. Saving a record without filling in a mandatory element will result in a warning message, such as the red box you see there for physical description. But don't worry, you're not actually breaking anything by not filling the field in right away. The data can always be filled in later. Your institution or archival network may have additional required fields, such as identifier, repository, language of material, and finding aids. You can only use the AtoM mandatory elements, or you can use all of the elements. AtoM is flexible to meet your institution's needs. And remember, information can always be added to an existing description later. In order to create your archival description, you'll want to log into your AtoM instance. You can see I'm already logged in here. When I'm ready to create a new archival description, I go to this Add button and choose Archival Descriptions. That will open a blank archival description where I can see the various areas that are available. Clicking on an area will open up a series of fields. The mandatory fields are mostly marked with this little asterisk, and if you hover over it, it lets you know this is a mandatory element. Once you have the blank archival description open, you can go ahead and start entering the information. You can copy and paste it from an existing source, or you can type it directly into the website, up to you. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. So I'm going to enter the information into the mandatory areas. I'm going to choose the level of description, which is full. Enter the dates of creation here. Now I'm not going to add any actors or link to any authority records in this video. That'll be the subject of another video. But for right now, I'm just going to add some dates of creation. I'll go ahead and add the scope and content as well. And when I've got my information all entered, I hit Create. And there is my draft archival description. So you can see I am getting one warning box here suggesting that the physical description information has not been entered and reminding me that it is a mandatory element. So that's okay. If I want to add that information now, I just go to the Edit button. It will open up the description again. I go to the physical description area. I'll go back to my document where I have the information, and I will copy and paste what I need into my archival description. I'll hit Save. And there is my draft archival description. You can see I'm not getting any more warning boxes, so I must have entered all of the mandatory elements that AtoM is suggesting. It is just a bare bones description. You can see there's not a lot of information there. There's lots of opportunity for me to go in and add more information if I have it or if I want to, things like identifier and repository. But this basic bare bones description is now in there and available. You can see it's in draft, which is indicated right here. Anytime you create a new archival description, it will remain in draft mode until someone with administrative rights in your AtoM instance goes in and decides to publish their description. So while you're working on your description, you can play around with it, make changes, make additions, take things out, rearrange it how you need to until you're satisfied with your archival description. And then whoever is in charge of publishing information for your AtoM instance, whether that's you or another member of your team, can go in and publish the description when you're ready. So when you're creating a basic archival description in AtoM, remember that AtoM only has a few mandatory elements. Mandatory elements can be entered and edited even after a record is created. The red warning box you get doesn't mean you've broken anything. It's just a reminder that the mandatory element hasn't been entered. A newly created description will stay in draft mode until it's made public. So go ahead and make changes and edits to your description until it's ready for review by your AtoM administrator. I hope you found this video helpful, and good luck.